Through a lot of your answers today, it kind of touched on community. We touched on audience. What's the difference between building a community and just having an audience? And how are they both valuable to an artist?
Yeah, I would say that community is, I think they both change and they both serve very specific purposes. And I would encourage any artist to know the difference because sometimes your community is not your audience, and sometimes your audience is not your community. And I've been through like processes in life where I've had to learn that the hard way because, again, it goes back to speaking the same languages. It's about speaking the language that your audience will understand and also speaking the language that your community understands. Your community is filled with people who maybe do similar things or in the same industry. Maybe they are your friends, your family, they're your support system. They're the people that you actually lean on, and they're the people that you actually pour into. It's reciprocal, right?
Yeah.
Your audience can be that, but it can also be a very transactional thing as well, where
Hmm.
you provide something and it is consumed, and maybe you get feedback in a way that your community might not give you feedback. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
your community might give you feedback that your audience will not. So
Yeah.
it's really, really important to have both, but know the difference. Because if you mistake your audience for your community or vice versa, sometimes you will get yourself in trouble because you're not speaking the same language. Lot of room for misinterpretation. There's a lot of room to offend people in a way that maybe you didn't intend to because you're speaking their language.
Interesting. Talking to people, especially who are performers, I talk to a lot of people who are behind the scenes. So it's very interesting to hear someone who's technically in front of the camera, the person who has like more of a public presence, and how you differentiate the two. And I find that very, very fascinating.
But mind you, like there's still also interlap. There's overlap. There should be overlap. You know what I mean? Because then that's its own perspective. I don't think that always have to be oil and water. I think there are people who are going to be part of your community who are also your audience. But when you are creating, you have to know whether you are creating for your community or if you are creating for your audience. And that can filter into whether you're doing just content, if you're doing social media stuff, are you creating content for your community or are you creating content for your audience? Are you creating music for your community or for your audience?
I think just to give people kind of like a checklist, what would you say would be the three main differences that you would tell people like before you press upload, before you press send? These are the things that we need to look out for so I know who I'm serving.
Are these people that you are pouring into and they are pouring into you? What kind of feedback am I looking for? Am I even looking for feedback at all? And then I would say, if this group of people changes, do I feel like I need to change what I am creating for them? If their opinions change, if their values change, if their politics change, do I feel like I also need to evolve with that?
That's a very good checklist for people to have. And I think because right now, I feel like when people are creating any kind of content, regardless of the kind of artist that you are, we tend to fall in sometimes into this box of wanting to please people, but we realize we're trying to please just one kind of person, and everyone's also afraid about cancel culture. So it's just like, okay, how do I stay in the safety zone, but how do I stay true to myself, but how do I please this audience, how do I stay intact with my community? There's a lot of different things that people are just analyzing to the point where we're blurring the lines.